Hi, I'm Paige Eagle, and my video artist project is going to be regarding Cindy Sherman, contemporary photographer. Cindy Sherman was born on January 19, 1954 in Glen Ridge, New Jersey. She actually started out as a hyper-realistic painter in 1972, but rose to fame through her photography that made political commentary about femininity, identity, and sexuality. Though she began her career as an artist in the 70s, Sherman continued to produce work throughout the 2000s and remains a very influential figure in photography. Cindy Sherman started her photography career in the mid-70s, and the Supreme Court in a 1976 trial called Planned Parenthood versus Danforth ruled that women had to have a signed approval from a spouse to receive an abortion. This caused mass outrage in the feminist community, and since Sherman herself has been labeled a feminist, I believe that this and other feminist events that occurred during her career were used as influence for her photographic commentary. In 1981, Sandra Day O'Connor was appointed as the first woman on the Supreme Court. Sherman was a political personality, as most, if not all, of her works were influenced by women and political events of her time. When Sherman was a new artist, the modern art movement was coming to a close, and the contemporary art movement was beginning. Both modern and contemporary art included experimental and unique art forms and works. Andy Warhol began his career in the 60s and pop art was born. Abstract expressionism was also so popular in the 70s. And though Sherman was a contemporary artist or a modern artist, he definitely drew influence from other art movements that were going on at the same time. Cindy Sherman has been frequently questioned about the meanings behind her art, and she's been reported answering, "The work is what it is, and hopefully it's seen as feminist work or feminist advised work," but she didn't want to label herself in any certain way. She would rather leave the theorizing to someone else, and there have been plenty of critics and academics willing to take on the task, says A Brief History of Cindy Sherman and Feminism from artsy.net. Sherman has also said, "I often don't know what I'm going for until after it's shot. It's amusing how far someone can stretch my intentions and make a concept that fits their theories." It seems that her work is definitely feminist and politically inspired, but she tends to be pretty ambiguous about the particular meanings behind her work. As far as which art movement she's a part of, I would label Sherman's work as contemporary or modern art. This is because she has a very unique style and is not only very bold, but she utilizes her art to make social commentary. Her use of prosthetics and heavy makeup is new and modern, and she sets up each individual shot as a painter would, meaning she considers every aspect of her pieces as an element of the art. Though contemporary art is just a blanket term for art produced today, Cindy Sherman's new way of being unique and bold was and is very influential to art produced after hers. In 1977, she began her collection of untitled film stills, which were meant to look like they came from early to mid-20th century B-movies. These stills were meant to emphasize stereotypes of women in film. For example, the damsel in distress, confused female in the big city, or the standard housewife. Other than her untitled film stills, she uses a lot of prosthetics and makeup to create bold and sometimes raunchy pieces in order to create social commentary and conversation. This piece on the left is one of her untitled film stills, which depicts a housewife, and this piece on the right is one of her more heavily produced and colorful pieces with the use of prosthetics, and it's a little more bizarre and out there. She incorporates herself into every one of her photographs. Most photos are obvious, like this one on the left. It's just a picture of her, though it's heavily produced and she uses prosthetics in here. But some are more discreet, as she hides in reflections and backgrounds. As you can see in the second image, it's just like a picture of kind of gross things, garbage and trash, but she's hiding in the reflection of this sunglasses lens. Sherman was a bit of a social recluse and really expressed her emotions through her art. Her creativity was much of a product of her shyness toward the outside world and really lended to the ambiguity of her works. Apart from the photographs that are of collections, her works are very different from one another and all have various purposes that art critics have attempted to figure out, according to daysdigital.com. Though there's a wide variation among Sherman's work, she tends to use color, shadow, and mask widely throughout her works for that bold effect. As you can see from these photographs, color is a main characteristic in her works aside from the film stills, which are entirely black and white. Sherman does not shy away from boldness in her works, in which color proves very useful. She is most often the primary subject of her work, so organic shape and mass also come into play, as per the natural human shape. She also uses shadow in many of her pieces, most notably in the film stills collection because she is depicting an entire scene with background and natural shadows. As you can see, shadows in the background of this and a lot of color. It's very bold and out there for her colored photos. Of the 6 functions of art, I believe that most, if not all, of Sherman's work fall under the function of commentary. She uses her art to put forth a feminist commentary, some more obvious and some more discreet. The film stills collection is a more discreet commentary because they look like average photographs, but they are instead intended to make a statement, as Sherman believes women are typically portrayed in a certain weak way. Her other pieces with heavy use of prosthetics are more obvious for commentary because they look humorous and bold. Sherman uses her history portraits to portray how women were viewed historically. So here is one of the untitled film stills, and the woman looks confused in like a big city, and this is one of the historical photographs. This is how she believes that women were perceived historically, a lot of nudity and not much more substance in addition to that. Sherman has received her fair share of criticism throughout her long career, and most of it pertains to what she means by each piece. The LA Times claims Sherman's more recent works are an imitation of selfie culture. The Artsy.net questions and rationalizes how Sherman portrays feminism in her works, and theartstory.com commends her for her decades of social commentary in each of her works. Most of this criticism falls under the expressive theory because she has a particular purpose and motive in each one of her pieces. I believe that Sherman would agree that her work is expressive, though she does not always agree with each individual critic, and she believes her art is sometimes overanalyzed. Thanks for watching this video artist review on Cindy Sherman, and I hope you learned something new.